A sinister voice echoes, speaking of the god of sun, Karya. It said Karya came down from heaven with fire, bringing light to barren lands. Karya isn't just the god of sun, but also of war and immortality. Beneath Karya's blessing, a voice declares, "We'll burn everything that goes against us." The voice continues, "Well, let's say that, who would care about it?" as footsteps stagger through the snow. The narration speaks of the end of this hidden other side, as a figure walks through the snow. The forest watches as a lone figure runs, panting, their bare feet striking the ground. The lone figure screams, waking up in a fancy room, "Miss," he mumbles in despair. A dark hand slaps Hildegger. "Miss Hildegger, pull yourself together," a voice booms. Hildegger struggles to breathe, calling for help, a doctor, anyone. Her golden eyes flash open, reflecting the sunset. The bustling town seems oblivious to Hildegger's plight as someone says, "So, you can't keep acting like this, Sir Jenkins." The customer argues with Elkin, accusing him of giving him bad herbs, blaming him for improper storage. The customer yells, enraged, "How am I supposed to trust you northerners?" Another customer comes to Elkin's defense. He is shocked to see Sir Jenkins appear so suddenly. The customer is seething, questioning how he can trust Elkin, referring to him as a northern bastard. Elkin laughs, realizing prejudice still exists. Elkin remembers his hometown in the north. It was destroyed after a long war. Some whispered she was an old hag. She was Cantalus's envoy, the Sun Witch. Annetta, startled, asks Elkin if he has heard about the royal family's search for doctors. Annetta shares that her sister is a royal knight, then Elkin laughs nervously. The bell rings as cloaked figures step inside Elkin's shop. He glances back, surprised. Elkin mentions he sees regulars sometimes, then asks if they need anything specific. One of the cloaked figures asks Elkin if he is from the north. Elkin glances at their swords. Elkin thinks these men are. He asks the cloaked figures what they want. Elkin recognizes the sword's insignia. They're Royal Emmerich Knights, he realizes, an elite force. Elkin is confused why the Royal Knights are searching for him. "Your parents," a booming voice yells. Elkin clenches his fist, realizing this might be an opportunity sent from heavens. The chapter ends with a promotional image featuring the series title, "What is this scans?" Under the moonlight, with a distant caw from an eagle statue, someone approaches through the woods. "My name is Griselda Elva," she says, as she needs his expertise to heal a noble. Elkin realizes Griselda's an Elva, which means she is powerful and connected. "What do I need to do?" Elkin is puzzled. Griselda explains that during the day there are no symptoms. She stands there, arms crossed, illuminated by strange shadows. "Only at night, doctor." Elkin thinks, what a ridiculous description. Is this a riddle I must solve? Griselda asks Elkin to guess the illness and cure. Elkin states he will need to use symptomatic treatment. He lists ingredients he knows, mentioning his parents were also pharmacists. He sighs, hearing her instructions. "My job here is done," he says, step. Griselda states there was no need for you to come out yourself. The cloaked figure turns to Griselda, revealing her name, Miss Hildegger. She looks directly at the white-robed figure. "He sounded pretty confident, didn't he?" "Why did he look familiar to you?" Hildegger wonders, but Griselda dismisses her observation. "No, it's nothing." Back at the pharmacy, the owner suspects that love is making Elkin distracted. A guard rushes in, calling for mistress, as someone in bed groans in pain. A noble is frustrated. They ran out of medicine and the royal physicians don't work. They won't work. Hildegger struggles with the mysterious illness, as the others cry for a doctor. Carrying the wooden box, Elkin walks along the cobblestone road back to the pharmacy. Brought to you by What Is This Scanlation team. Elkin is determined to use this chance. He will find a way to the royal palace. He was surprised to be summoned to the castle so quickly. However, this place doesn't seem like the royal palace. Where is he? A knight suddenly appears as the door creaks open. He tells Elkin to follow him. The title of the story is The Nameless Castle 1, marking the beginning of a new arc. The knight leads Elkin through the castle, their footsteps echoing in the dimly lit halls. Where are they going? The knight stops in front of a door, emphasizing the secrecy of their mission. He implores Elkin to treat her as a patient, nothing more. The knight explains the noble's strange condition. Her symptoms started a few months ago, worsening daily. During the nights, she is in terrible shape, barely able to sleep. A mysterious figure speaks, requesting a favor with a low, resonating boom. Swords clash as the battle begins. A knight yells, ready to strike Elkin down. Die, weakling. The knight yells which, as Elkin is thrown back by a sudden, bright explosion. You. A dark figure slices the bright explosion with a sword. The knight's eyes glow red as he screams, monster. A battlefield erupts, soldiers scattered, and a lone rider stands firm amidst the chaos. Amidst the chaos, a voice calls out, Miss Hildegger. Before Hildegger hits the ground, she commands, all right, tell him I'm coming, no. Hildegger slumps to the ground. A desperate voice echoes, Miss Hildegger. Hildegger's eyes open wide, her hand instinctively moving as she wakes up in terror. Hildegger says that she feels refreshed at night thanks to the northerner. A hand reaches out towards Hildegger's mask and then freezes. Someone warns her to hide her identity and illness. Behind a closed door, Hildegger removes her mask. Well, no one will recognize my face anyway. Hildegger wonders how long it's been since she wandered around at night. Hildegger opens the door, calling out for Griselda. The door slams closed behind her. A vial of medicine falls to the ground as Hildegger collapses in pain. Elkin wakes up on the floor, dazed. Huh, a voice echoes, especially northerners. End of chapter credits. Raw provider, translator, proofreader, cleaner, redrawer, typesetter, quality checker. The glass vial rolled onto the floor. Elkin, startled by a voice, gets up. The knight stares at Elkin. He seems puzzled by Elkin's reaction to his statement. The knight apologizes, checking if she's hurt. He wonders why she isn't saying anything. Elkin is conflicted, wondering if she needs to kill the knight. However, she questions how she'd get the medicine then. She contemplates telling the royal pharmacist the recipe, but quickly dismisses it. Voices ring in Elkin's head, calling her a witch and monster. As I thought, she mutters as something crackles. Elkin freezes, realizing she dropped the vial. The knight grabs her hand, noticing a cut. Elkin looks up at a statue and mutters Karia, multiple times, seemingly in a daze. The knight introduces himself as Kaya. Elkin follows suit. Could I examine your wound? He inspects the wound. Luckily, it's not too deep, no stitches, just a bandage. Kaya rummages around, telling her not to strain it. Kaya asks Elkin what she does here, implying that Lady Griselda didn't tell her. The door shuts with a creak. Kaya looks down, startled by the sudden noise. Elkin flinches, clenching her injured hand into a fist. She thinks she could heal it with her powers. An image of Kaya flashes in Elkin's mind, now that I've seen them properly. Heisey enters the room. She startles to see Elkin without a veil, questioning her actions. Kaya admits that he was too nervous to sleep and unpacked instead. He shrugs. Footsteps echo down the hall. Suddenly, Heisey hears Elkin calling out Kaya. Thank you for watching. Support the creators by visiting the link in the description. Elkin says that's. Heisey wonders what he is looking at as she descends the stairs. Kaya appears and apologizes for yesterday with a sly smile on her face. She asks if his hand is all right. Elkin says just a second, then Kaya grabs Elkin's arm. Elkin wonders why Kaya wants him to head to the hall alone. The door shuts. He asks Kaya who she is and where she got the clothes. Kaya says she borrowed them from Heisey. Kaya thinks to herself that something is bothering her and she has seen him before. She has to find out why. Kaya's accomplice thinks she is confusing Elkin with someone else. He reminds her of the dangers of being seen. Kaya doesn't care if their plan is discovered. She opens the door and speaks. Kaya mentions that she would go mad if she stayed in that room. The knight introduces Guzdal, the new cook, then pauses, looking away to present the other. The knight introduces Elkin as the castle's new doctor and pharmacist. People stare at Elkin. A man says he can't sleep due to knee pains. Someone else asks if he can help their son grow. Elkin is relieved to be done with the introductions. Another person wonders if Hildegger will be all right alone. In the kitchen, the cook tells Kaya to bring food to the mistress. Someone states that the mistress hasn't been eating lately. A loud crash startles both the cook and Elkin in the hallway. Elkin shouts for Kaya to stop as she chops the vegetables and cutting board. She says she needed to cut fast. This series is brought to you by What Is This Scans. Thank you for reading. Birds chirp as Kaya is questioned if she has free time. She nods, then she is asked to bring blankets. Kaya is dragging the blankets as someone calls out to her. They are upset that she is dragging the clean blankets. Then she tries to make a fire but is failing terribly. The others tell her that she should go rest and not do chores. Kaya doesn't listen and slams the door. Kaya thinks doing chores is lame and now she needs a new plan. Someone watches her from the window. Elkin finishes the letter, remembering he needs to be vague. He notices how quiet the castle is. Elkin considers that the Sun Witch is immortal. She couldn't possibly be the owner. He wonders if the royal family is the castle's owner. Someone mentions that maybe the people hiding are nobles or exiles. Elkin doesn't care to speculate. She worries putting Annetta and the Lindemans in danger with her actions. More importantly, she thinks. Elkin nervously asks Kaya if she wants to observe him up close. He suddenly gets chills and sees a lion behind her. He wonders what she is doing. Kaya mentions that people want her to rest, but she has nothing to do. A guard wants to talk to Elkin. Kaya overhears him saying he is sending money to Lindemann General. She wonders why he is sending money to other people. A man thinks, then I'll deliver it safely to them. A horse-drawn carriage moves. A flashback shows a young Kaya begging a guard to let her pass. You little. End of scanlation. Join the Discord for more chapters. But the guard doesn't listen to them. Suddenly, Kaya's accomplice appears and embraces Kaya, who seems surprised. Another guard approaches Kaya. He asks what's going on with her and her accomplice. The boy begs Kaya to let him join the search, declaring himself as Finn's family. The guard asks the boy his name and he hesitantly replies it's Max. Kaya and the guard watch Max leave, his earlier words still lingering in the air. Kaya asks if her accomplice wants to go inside first. He refuses and wants to explore the woods, then Kaya agrees. Her accomplice yawns, stating he's bored and doesn't have anything to do. He then calls for Kaya to wait for him. He falters, trying to change the subject about gathering herbs. Kaya, however, gazes back with knowing eyes. He remembers 8 years since his parents died and 5 since the war ended. Elkin recalls being accused as a thief because he was a northerner. However, the Lindemans saved him. Kaya thinks about his generosity. She recalls him helping strangers, even a lost child. She questions if he's stupid or naive. Kaya questions what Elkin did before working at the castle. She notes he doesn't seem like a northerner or from Mormurata. Kaya asks if his parents were immigrants. Kaya starts to speak, but Elkin stops her and points to something on the ground. Kaya stops, pointing out blood on the path, clearly disturbed by the sight. This panel is just a thank you from the scanlation team who work on the series. Kaya tells Elkin to look down. They both notice the blood on the ground. The man breathes a sigh of relief. He orders them to halt. The horse is in awful condition. What happened to him? Kaya says, looking over Finn. Elkin reaches for his knife. He asks Kaya for her apron. Elkin wonders if it wouldn't be better to euthanize Finn as he's suffering. He remembers Max saying Finn was family. Kaya clenches her fists, her face hardening as she realizes the gravity of the situation. She says, I can't believe he's gone. A tear falls from Elkin's eye. He looks upon the pile of bodies before him. Someone lies on the ground, wounded and gurgling blood. Kill me, the person pleads. Elkin and Kaya stand nearby, shocked by the scene. Someone calls out Lady Caria. A menacing face looms closer, eyes glowing dangerously. Elkin steels himself, calling himself stupid as he prepares to euthanize Finn. Kaya snatches the knife. Kaya, Elkin shouts, grabbing her wrist to stop her. Elkin shouts for Kaya to help him tie a splint instead of killing him. Kaya ignores Elkin's pleas. She says nothing as she lowers the knife towards Finn. Elkin counts as he pulls on Finn's leg. It pops into place. I did it, Elkin yells in triumph. Someone kicks Elkin into the lake. Ack, Elkin cries as he falls in. Kaya looks at Finn's leg and bandages. She is thinking. A moment later she calls out Elkin. These scans are brought to you by What Is This Scans. Thanks for reading. Elkin cleans the blood off of the horse with a cloth and sighs. He is not happy about this. Kaya looks off in the distance, confused and questioning Elkin. Kaya is shocked by the sight. She whispers Elkin's name uncertain. Elkin is pulled underwater. Kaya yells at him from the shore, urging him to come closer. Elkin is flailing in the water. Kaya is in disbelief that he can't swim. She prepares to jump in after him. Kaya dives into the water without a second thought, determined to save Elkin. Elkin sinks further, unable to swim, and coughs up bubbles. Kaya rushes to save him, diving deep. Kaya reaches for Elkin's hand, desperate to pull him up to the surface. Kaya resurfaces, gasping for air, dragging Elkin with her. She struggles to keep them both afloat, wondering why he's so heavy. Kaya struggles, realizing Elkin is too far. Elkin is losing consciousness underwater as he thinks this could be the end. Kaya is glowing. Back at the castle, the knight discusses the shipment with a maid. He needs Heisey to tell Kaya something. From the castle window, a plume of smoke can be seen in the distance. Kaya collapses to her knees, coughing and gasping for air. She saved him, but the effort took a toll. Elkin is lying on the grass, coughing up water. Elkin and Kaya rest after the ordeal. Kaya thinks, honestly, Elkin lays lifeless. Elkin wakes up after passing out. Kaya smacks him to make sure he's awake. He asks where he is. Elkin's thought is interrupted by his memories. Back in reality, he asks about Finn, worried about the horse's fate. Kaya says she sent someone to the village. Elkin's eyes widen as he suddenly says it's alive. An image floats in Elkin's head. Kaya begs to help the horse for Max's sake. Kaya and Elkin are resting outside of the castle walls, as Kaya thinks quietly. An unseen figure scolds Hildegger for bringing a northerner. They say, now you're playing lady-in-waiting. Footsteps echo as a servant approaches a door, carrying a golden goblet. The mistress calls out as her maid approaches with the medicine. She reluctantly drinks it and grimaces. How was the pharmacist? The mistress wonders if Elkin is too simple-minded, as he is very kind to the Lindemans. She is informed that the pharmacist, Elkin, and Lady Griselda have a message. Kaya is suspicious about Elkin's medicine. Elkin assures Kaya that he is only using medicine with proven efficacy. He says getting them is hard in the south. Kaya is contemplating getting an errand boy. The knight thinks to himself that he doesn't want anyone to know. Now that he mentions it, there is someone. Kaya changes the subject, asking what they are making. It looks like a lemon cake with fish. Elkin excitedly announces the arrival of the medicine Kaya requested. Kaya is surprised at how quickly it arrived. Elkin confirms they should go now as Kaya wonders what Kaya is making. It's a lemon cake with fish. Kaya seems confident as they walk with Lady Griselda. He plans to use Annetta to procure drugs from the general store she works at. Kaya worries about how young she is. Kaya is told Annetta seems to like him. Kaya says she's like a sister. Annetta arrives at the castle, a horse trailing behind her. Elkin greets her with excitement. Elkin is happy to see Annetta and compliments her arrival. He says she's still the same and thanks her for arriving quickly. Annetta calls out to Elkin, happy that he is here. Kaya says to check the medicine. Suddenly, a voice calls out to Elkin, curious about his companion. Elkin happily introduces Annetta to Kaya. Annetta gushes about Kaya's beauty. Kaya seems suspicious about Annetta. Kaya is flustered and denies saying Annetta likes Elkin. Annetta offers them lemon cake while Kaya contemplates what just happened. The knight questions who it is. Kaya and Elkin are greeted. Kaya and Elkin are greeted upon their return. The man informs them that he heard they had a guest. The man is happy to give them a snack for their work. He wishes he could see his son more. He reveals his son is an Ermic knight. The man is proud of his son becoming an Ermic knight. Annetta suggests that they should take a look around the palace. What could they be looking for? Kaya exclaims how clear the water is. Elkin warns her to be careful as it's deeper than it looks. Annetta suggests they take a break to eat the pie. Annetta implies that Elkin doesn't like the knights. Elkin realizes the reason behind this and internally shouts that he's an idiot. The man tells them to get used to the castle rules, which the knights uphold. Annetta shrugs, telling Kaya and Elkin to do as they please. Elkin is surprised that the mistress is consulting a pharmacist. He says they must not be able to solve it. The mistress is curious as well. The mistress says she can only relieve the pain for a while. She thinks it's a curse. After realizing this, Kaya accuses Elkin of eavesdropping. Elkin blushes as she hits the mark. Annetta's quiet. Elkin thinks Kaya and her sister are amazing. He knows Giselda and Annetta are sisters too. Giselda muses about Annetta never saying anything at all. She says she's fine. Kaya is surprised to hear that. She will keep the visit a secret from her parents. Annetta explains that she and Kaya have different parents. She clarifies that Kaya is her aunt's daughter, raised by her parents after her aunt's early passing. She was in a battle. Giselda reflects on a childhood field. She's sad that Annetta doesn't trust her. Annetta explains it's not that she doesn't trust Giselda, but is worried. Annetta looks at Kaya with an encouraging look, whispering, "I believe in you." Giselda trails off, thinking about her sister. She's surprised that Kaya was hiding such a cute sister. Elkin whispers cute, and Kaya remarks he can say nice things too. Giselda looks somber, mentioning that this isn't just a quiet place. What does he mean by that? Kaya is told to go play with Annetta. Elkin asks Kaya where she's going. Kaya seems to be thinking, someone has placed mousetraps in the castle. Someone approaches Chef Guzdal, his footsteps echo through the hallway. He jumps, startled by the person approaching. Guzdal apologizes for startling the approaching Annetta. She asks him to prepare bandages. Annetta stutters an excuse and promises to get the bandages. The chef wonders why Annetta was surprised that Elkin can't heal wounds so easily. He seems to know more about Hildegger's capabilities. Someone grabs Chef Guzdal by the neck and slams him against the wall. He struggles to breathe. The attacker asks who sent him, suggesting a setup. Guzdal realizes that King Mormodes is behind the attack. The attacker then states that Guzdal became a spy so his son can become a knight. They then reveal their ability to kill Mormodes. Guzdal remembers that he is still useful to Mormodes. Hildegger then tells him that the king is worried about her. The attacker realizes Elkin is from the north and must hate Hildegger. He wonders what Elkin will do if she is found out. She mocks the chef, saying she's in a good mood so she'll have mercy on him. "Run away," she says. The attacker warns Guzdal that he can't expect to live peacefully in Mormorata anymore, then states that Mormodes will kill him. Guzdal is shaking from fear, running away from Annetta. She sighs and whispers, "Mormodes." Annetta walks away, telling herself, "Why do you keep uselessly meddling?" Kaya calls out to Griselda, who is on her way to see her sister off, but she grabs her. She asks about the cook's escape. Griselda wonders aloud, "Oh, that guy." She collects herself, "Well, let me explain." Kaya seems surprised and curious. As Guzdal runs, he stumbles and falls to the ground with a loud "URKK." The castle fire blazes at night. Someone is swinging their sword in the courtyard. Kaya watches them and remarks that the form is clumsy. Someone calls out to a knight, who acknowledges with a simple "sir." Another knight approaches, inquiring if he's on his way to the king. Suddenly, someone with the word Thurian appears, smirking at the situation. The knight admires the weather. He mentions it's been a while since they've had a quiet morning. He is told Kaya is with the servants and trying something new. Elkin thinks this is only a temporary solution. Kaya's accomplice wonders if Hildegger and Elkin can be left alone. They are planning to solve the issue without Elkin. Griselda is approached by someone who states that someone is coming. 3 riders approach at full speed, alarming Kaya. Elkin notices the commotion and wonders what is going on. The approaching riders make Kaya say it can't be. One of the riders is Lord Albrecht. The other asks what brings them here unannounced. The accomplice wonders if Lord Albrecht is the Emmerich Knight's commander. Lord Albrecht greets Lady Griselda. She responds by saying he should have sent a message. He retorts with a chuckle. Albrecht gestures for Thurian to introduce himself. He announces Lady Griselda as the castle's leader. Thurian gives a formal bow. He states his name is Thurian Widehin. The accomplice gulps nervously as he realizes who she is. This person is, he stutters, clearly shaken, First Sword Griselda Elba. Kaya's accomplice recalls Griselda's retreat from the front lines after the war. Lord Albrecht asks what was decided. The accomplice believes Thurian is related to Lord Albrecht. Albrecht confirms he brought Thurian along as a personal chauffeur. The figure asks who owns the castle. Elkin dismisses his worries. Thurian doesn't know who owns the castle. Albrecht inquires about Hildegard's well-being, referring to her as the Sun Knight. It is confirmed Guzdal was a spy for the king, and this wasn't the first time. Griselda states Mormodes has been watching her. She says she's not going to back down like this again. After a pause, Lord Albrecht speaks with a sense of authority. Then may I, he begins. He continues, consider this as something the king has allowed. The knight thinks the castle is bigger than he expected. He wonders about the castle's servants, as someone says it's hot. The knight's footsteps echo as he moves. Someone sighs and seems to be lost in thought. The knight fixes his gaze, a determined look settling across his face. Kaya walks away from the noble's room sighing. Doubts about Elkin begin to grow. Kaya abruptly stops, an idea popping into her head. Flustered, Elkin greets her, but she remarks on the hot weather, changing the topic completely. As Kaya leaves, Thurian realizes he never introduced himself. He murmurs, she disappeared. I will entrust everything to you. The commander confirms his departure. He rushes outside where his men are waiting on horseback. Are you leaving already? Lord Albrecht orders Thurian to stay and learn from Griselda. Thurian seems smug. Thurian whispers, promising to remember the mission. Albrecht is confident in Thurian's abilities. He orders the knights to move out. After the commander's departure, Thurian beams. I'm looking forward to learning from you, Lady Griselda. Albrecht thinks Thurian is a parasite. He must keep him from Hildegard and Kaya. Thurian wonders what her name could be. Albrecht stops, cursing that he's too late. The commander tells him to protect the castle. Two maids gush over Griselda and Thurian as they walk by. One exclaims how handsome Thurian is. Thurian comments on the new staff, then mentions that Elkin is out. Griselda will introduce them later. As Thurian walks, he thinks to himself, a doctor. They patrol the area. Albrecht instructs Thurian to keep a close watch. He orders him to keep an eye on anyone suspicious or trespassing in the castle. The commander reminds him to punish disloyalty. The Lord's safety comes first at any cost. Thurian thinks to himself that he already knows who Lady Griselda and the castle are for. He has a secret task. The mysterious voice speaks of Hildegard alias. Thurian wonders about this rumored hero's true identity and nature. Thurian suddenly stops in the forest, hidden behind a tree. He wonders how they got there, then remembers the dark blue hair of the stranger. Thurian watches Elkin kneeling in the forest. He's a northerner, he can't believe what he's seeing. The man recognizes Elkin's dark hair and outfit from afar. No, there's no mistaking it, he's a northerner. The guard realizes the man has a weapon and is here for the Sun Knight. He knows he has to hurry. The guard yells, "Freeze, intruder!" His stomp echoes through the trees as he confronts the spy. Northerners crawling here makes me sick. The guards offer Rings Hollow, give up an arm or face his wrath. Then I'll punish you right here. Sweating, the man looks down at the knife and seems to be second-guessing. As the guard moves to attack, a bird flies by, startled by the conflict. Spotting the uniform of an Emmerich knight, Elkin wonders who it could be. What did he say to me? Drawing his knife, he prepares to defend himself. The guard narrowly avoids Elkin's knife. How dare a northerner crawl in here? He demands to know the truth, pressing his attack. Elkin cries out as he's knocked to the ground. Elkin is hit with a flurry of blows. He cries out as he is pummeled. He tries to block as he's backed into the undergrowth. Gasping and clutching his wound, Elkin feels dread creep in. This person is being serious. The guard prepares to strike a decisive blow, his blade gleaming. The guard shouts, "This is the end, northerner." Elkin thinks, he's really trying to kill me. Hearing the commotion, Kaya rushes towards the scene, calling out, "Are you hurt, Elkin?" Kaya is shocked and accuses Kaya of trying to kill Elkin. Elsewhere, Thurian is surprised to hear that the mistress has a doctor. Kaya confronts Elkin about his attempt on the mistress's life. He scoffs at her accusations. The situation is starting to escalate. Elkin is surprised that Kaya thinks of him as just a doctor. Kaya is staring back. The knights apologize to Griselda. Kaya feels responsible. He wants to disappear. Kaya wraps bandages on the wound. Kaya finishes bandaging Elkin's arm, asking if he can still make medicine. He jokes that he didn't lose his entire arm. Elkin winces. Kaya's bandaging is a little too tight. Griselda apologizes for his hand injury. Elkin reassures her. The knight explains that the misunderstanding has been resolved, presenting Elkin as the mistress's doctor. Kaya is told that the knight's name is Thurian Widehin. Kaya chimes in, saying that the man is clumsy. Visibly annoyed, the knight questions Kaya's allegiance in this conflict. Thurian's orders are to not think. He needs to uncover Griselda's identity and illness. Elkin thinks he should keep an eye on Kaya if it weren't for him. The knight asks Kaya her name and she curtly asks why he cares. The knight thinks to himself. Under the moonlight, a mysterious figure emerges from the castle walls. A messenger arrives, reporting to Commander Albrecht. He confirms Thurian's message. The Sun Knight is ill and has brought in a northerner doctor. The cloaked figure observes, noting Elkin hasn't met Hildegger. Albrecht understands the knight's urgent doctor search. He smirks, doing as you please. The cloaked figure asks Elkin if he knows what happened 8 years ago during the Sun Knight's disappearance. So you've heard. The mysterious figure recalls that the Sun Knight disappeared during a battle. The Mormorata suffered defeats. Albrecht hears that the Sun Knight's condition worsens. He needs to gather more men, so he summons the knights. Albrecht orders for mercenaries, then decides someone bright and secretive is preferable. He ignites a document in the candle's flame. The story shifts. They are going to the northern border Cantalis Plains. Elkin arrives home carrying a baby. Inside, Kaya greets him, "Welcome back. How is it today?" Elkin replies, "Sorry, Yashu. Despite the fishing, there wasn't much to catch. This damn war has been going on for 20 years. It will be a hard winter to survive." The village chief reflects on Elkin's naive nature and his inability to hunt, despite his grown body. The village chief is worried because their food stocks are running low. He thinks about the children's needs and size, hoping dialects can help Elkin survive the winter. The village is becoming deserted as people seek better fortunes elsewhere. Maybe Elkin can help them figure things out. People are trying to survive, but the village's future is uncertain. Make a living in the other village. Footsteps crunch in the snow, a heavy sense of dread hangs in the air. Elkin treks through the snowy forest. "Elkin," a child calls out from behind a tree, "Where are you going?" The child tells Elkin about rumors of a giant sea monster in the south. Elkin admits there are many things in the south, nobles and fearless knights, for example. The child asks if Elkin is going to meet the witch. Elkin ponders, his expression unreadable. He thinks about something, remaining quiet. The child grabs Elkin's sleeve and says, "Please stay healthy." Elkin continues his journey through the snowy forest. The snow now falls more steadily. A castle gate stands tall, guarded by a soldier in golden armor. The Golden Knight tells the guard, "Don't you feel bored alone? I'll keep you company." The Golden Knight is frustrated by the castle residents. "How can I get information when they don't even talk to me?" A guard on horseback approaches the castle gate and waves hello. The Golden Knight yells, "You stop." A young, unfamiliar face appears at the gate. The Golden Knight greets Aneta, but mocks her as a tiny kiddo who works with Elkin, calling Elkin a useless bastard. Aneta is flustered by the insult. Aneta calls out to Elkin as he walks through town. The Golden Knight asks why her reactions are always so different. Elkin is being sarcastic towards the Golden Knight. The knight is infuriated by Elkin's calm demeanor and threatens to cut his arm. Aneta is shocked by the exchange. Elkin gets between the two men, flustered. Kaya is yelling at them to stop. The Golden Knight defends Aneta. Thurian gets slapped too and told to get back to work. Aneta tries to leave, having finished her delivery, but the knight invites her to his office for a chat. Aneta is flustered at the invitation. She's going to Greiselda's office. A server is carrying the Lord's lunch. The Golden Knight offers to carry it for her, but she refuses. The Golden Knight stops Aneta, informing her that normal employees can't pass through here. He tells her to leave. Kaya peers over the railing, listening to the conversation below. Someone in the room gasps, surprised by the newcomer. Lord Albrecht brings Greiselda her lunch, much to her dismay. She internally frets about the impropriety of him serving her a meal. She hates Thurian. Kaya explains the Lord's hidden identity. The Sun Knight cannot easily be rid of. Greiselda asks if Albrecht has been eating. She secretly thinks he is trying to isolate her. Greiselda clenches her fist, thinking, Whedon huh, she knows they are a family from the south that shouldn't be trusted. Their heirs keep dying. The Golden Knight internally laments, feeling shame. He muses that Thurian must have lost many siblings considering his age. Thurian overhears Greiselda's frustration and scoffs to himself, clearly unbothered by her thoughts. The Golden Knight realizes that learning about the Lord's medicine will reveal his illness. "That's it," he exclaims, dashing off. As the Golden Knight runs off, he shouts to Elkin and asks if he needs any help. Elkin stops in his tracks, surprised by the sudden appearance. The Golden Knight kicks the door open, barging in on Elkin. He shouts, confused and offended by being shut out. The Golden Knight stops to ponder. "Miss Kaya, I want to know what kind..." Thurian is surprised to hear this. The door slams shut and the Golden Knight walks away. Thurian is taken aback by the question. He wonders why the knight is so suspicious. The Golden Knight walks away, his face serious. He clenches his fist. The maid moves through the halls, noticing that this is the first time in years visiting this place. He invites Aneta to make herself comfortable. A sly smile creeps on his face. He recalls Hildegger never seeing him. Now she brought him in, making him nervous. What did she want? The silver-haired man asks who exactly wants to talk with him. He then states he has nothing to discuss. Lord Albrecht asks if his parents are doing okay, and if everything is all right at home. He asks Aneta if she met Elkin while working at the general store. She blushes at the thought. Aneta walks down the road carrying the medicine. A man yells about why he has to see a northerner. The yelling gets closer and closer. Aneta pauses and wonders what is going on. Elkin is deep in thought, overlooking the water, seemingly unconcerned. Elkin finds himself lost in the capital, with no money and nowhere to stay. Elkin rests, exhausted. An old couple offers Elkin a warm invitation, promising to welcome him if he ever makes it to the capital. The figure behind the wall greets him. "Hi." He wonders, is she picking a fight? Aneta asks if he is lost. He admits that he is from the north. Aneta mentions the general store is in the opposite direction. Elkin accepts the news, thanking her for the directions. Aneta wonders if she should tell him more. Elkin takes the offering. He is surprised, stating he prepared the food to eat with his sister. He then says he got chased out before even seeing her. Elkin sighs that he hopes someone else eats the food instead of him. Aneta asks him to tell her the story of his journey. Elkin Honest says he's starving. They continue down the road and Aneta asks about family names. Aneta says that they met thanks to Elkin. He says he understands. The pharmacist. He remembers Elkin lost his parents. Aneta, seeing Lord Albrecht, invites him to join them for dinner. Aneta questions aloud if it's all right. Lord Albrecht explains that the mistress doesn't mind. Aneta excitedly accepts, thinking this is a dream. Two girls squeal over seeing Elkin and Kaya again. Lord Albrecht smiles slyly. A knight tells Kaya about the banquet that will be held. Kaya wonders what has gotten into Griselda, then she's asked if she wants to eat something. The Golden Knight talks about the land's fertility and trade. Elkin meets Kaya but glares jealously at the knight. Kaya fixes Elkin's hair and he asks her to repeat what she said. She asks Elkin to stay still. Kaya removes a leaf from Elkin's head. Someone mentions Aneta and the upcoming evening. The Golden Knight is standing still, listening to their conversation. The Golden Knight reaches to the floor. He picks up a lousewort bud. He looks surprised and in shock. This is. The Golden Knight seems to be lost in thought. This is, he mutters. Someone mentions they can't believe there is a banquet. They send someone to check on the chicken. Another looks for Hesse. The cook tastes the food and Aneta suddenly collapses in front of them. Sorry I made you wait, are you all here? The Golden Knight asks the others to sit comfortably. After a moment of silence, someone slams their hands on the table. A lady with red hair is standing next to the knight. The banquet begins and the plates hit the table with a bang. The crowd is amazed by the food brought before them. The Golden Knight admits he hasn't been treated this well since coming to Mormorata. Another person responds, I see. The Golden Knight tells the white-haired man, well, you have it hard. The white-haired man is surprised by his statement and wonders what he means. The knight says he didn't expect Griselda to be in that kind of place. The red-haired lady looks around and wonders where the food she made is. Another person talks about battle. The man remembers those who died in battle, including his brother. He thinks it's a pity he became a knight. Elkin looks up with a blank stare. The Golden Knight is enjoying the feast. The Golden Knight states that he is surprised Griselda is staying in this place. He suspects there is a reason behind it. She admits it's by order. The knight accuses Elkin of wiping out northern vermin and defending the kingdom. Battles come to mind as the knight's grip tightens. My brother was there too. The Golden Knight mentions the deceased brothers and Lady Griselda. He wanted to fight but became a knight too late. That's really a pity. Chapter 21 is entitled, A Place to Stay. Aneta and Griselda appear. Sir Tyrion doesn't wish to argue with the other knight about the war. The Golden Knight asks if he feels guilty. He smirks, stating the one who broke the non-aggression pact plundered the village. The knight yells that it wasn't. The hand slams the table, startling everyone. The knight tries to dismiss the conversation. It's all over now. He questions if the knight will say that if their enemy stood before him. Another loud slam silences the room. Elkin stands firmly, a fierce determination burning in his eyes. Elkin slams his hands on the table, apologizing, enjoy your dinner, I'll excuse myself. The Golden Knight scoffs at Elkin's sudden departure, calling him a wimp. Kaya slams her hands on the table, resolute. I'll go after him, she declares, rushing out. Kaya rushes after Elkin, determined to understand his sudden outburst. Thurian watches her leave with a strange expression, muttering to himself, just why? The other knight shouts at the table about everyone siding with Elkin. The people near him don't know what is happening. He shouts he is a Northian. The Golden Knight asks Sir Tyrion if Elkin harmed his family. Tyrion denies it, clarifying he is a knight of Mormorata. Another knight states that his words are dishonorable. A woman says she didn't want to hear war talk during dinner with family. Another knight says he was suspicious of Elkin. The other knight hesitates, stating that being a knight does not excuse his actions. The Golden Knight thinks the current peace is short for settling a grudge. He hopes peace is treated preciously. Elkin apologizes for being emotional. The Golden Knight states it's not him who deserves an apology. Sound of rustling fills the air. Kaya is running looking for Elkin. She realizes he is close to a cliff. Kaya stops and recalls Elkin's troubled expression before his departure. Hildegar's eyes glow eerily in the dark as she thinks about a solution. The chapter title is The Setting Sun Chilling Eyes A Lingering Place 6. Elkin wipes his face as he heads outside and Kaya asks if he followed her out. She urges him to go back inside but Elkin starts to apologize. Elkin struggles to apologize, saying I can't. Kaya, looking troubled, tells him not to bother. She admits feeling bad for Aneta's condition and urges Elkin to stay until he feels better. He agrees that he enjoys night walks. Kaya looks pensive as she and Elkin continue their stroll outside. She has something to say. Kaya reminds Elkin that he never answered about his parents. He pauses, then explains that he doesn't remember his family. Someone brought him to Mormorata when he was young. Elkin elaborates that he couldn't relate to the sadness of losing family. His earliest memory is not feeling like he belongs. A montage of Elkin's memories flash by. He thinks about how he is satisfied with his life, but Kaya wonders about Elkin's decision to help. Elsewhere, the cloaked figure speaks. The Lord, he must feel thankful for what you've done. Elkin pauses, disagreeing internally that he doesn't deserve the Lord's thanks. He admits trying to get closer to the royal family. Elkin thinks that talking to Kaya about his past was relieving. She then says, let's go back. A soldier in red attire knocks on a door. Elkin looks back with worry. He then looks down, deep in thought. Elkin thinks he went too far. Albrecht pauses, then apologizes. They resume walking step by step. Albrecht stops in his tracks, surprised at Elkin's sudden behavior. Elkin then suggests, let's get back in. He scoffs, thinking it can't be helped dealing with Kaya. She then says it was hard making him apologize. At a distance, someone thinks that Kaya and Elkin are idiots. Elkin thanks Kaya. Above, Hildegger is seen in her room. Elsewhere, Elkin is walking away. Yeah, I know it too. He thinks he shouldn't vent his resentment. He decides there's someone suitable for him to vent to. Hildegger thinks of the person she resents the most. She realizes she needs to get revenge. Elkin is shown below, sitting alone. The scene changes to a wide shot of the castle at night. A pigeon takes flight near the castle. The pigeon then lands on a man's finger wearing a ring. He examines it intently, thinking something over. The man in the castle uniform pauses near a pigeon cage, lost in thought. What could he be planning? A maid comforts Hildegger, telling her it has been half a year. Thurian arrives, telling Hildegger she can no longer avoid the Lord's invitation to the castle. The maid asks Hildegger what they should do. Hildegger pauses, then orders for a carriage to be prepared. The man wonders if the Lord is going out since he hasn't seen him in a while. Thurian will oversee castle affairs today. Someone calls out to Griselda but is stopped. Elkin wants to join her, but Griselda says no because he's the Lord's physician. The other Emmerich knight insists he wants to go with Elkin. Thurian questions why he wants to act like that again. The knight cleans his sword, deep in thought about something. He then flops to the ground. It's a pity to stay in the castle, he sighs. Elkin sighs, stating that he's answered Kaya's question before. Kaya hums, wondering if that's all there is to it. He continues, you're the only one I've got with Miss Kaya. The man hesitates, then states, it depends on how Kaya feels. His companion thinks he's avoiding the question. Suddenly Kaya says, huh. In the distance, smoke billows from the horizon. Gallop! A figure yells Elkin's name, riding hard towards the castle gate, arriving with news, Aneta. A voice calls to the knights, questioning their purpose. One replies that Griselda is out of the castle. Another shouts in denial, worried for his sister. Elkin seems to be in trouble. The boy cries, exclaiming, there's a fire in my town. Down the road, someone else gasps, the village is on fire. The boy on horseback shouts for Elkin. Inside the castle, Elkin sprints to grab his things. Another knight yells, stopping him, they can't leave without Griselda. The knight pauses, I'm sorry for the village, but they'll have to get another doctor. He thinks, if you, the Lord's clinician, go to an active fire and something goes wrong. The other knight wonders if the fire is big. Thurian looks startled. Another knight shouts for Thurian again, we have to hurry. The knight's armor rustles as he's pulled by Elkin. A maid sees them, calling out for her lady, but Elkin is determined. I'll get a wagon, he yells. Elkin is told to gather what he needs and prioritize Aneta. A knight orders someone to get on his horse. A concerned Elkin is asked if he's seen such a large fire before. No, he replies. He needs to focus. Hurry, the fire rages beyond the trees, growing fast. Kaya and Elkin are riding through the woods at full speed. Max asks Kaya what happened to Finn. Elkin quietly wonders about Finn's fate. The boy explains that Finn held on for a few days after being found, but ultimately died. Kaya is silent, riding fast. A horse skids to a halt. Elkin holds a child and mutters in disbelief at the burning village before them. Max shouts from the horse. A villager exclaims, relieved that a doctor has arrived. Max calls out again, urging Elkin forward. A young boy rushes towards Elkin, calling for help. Elkin follows him, a worried expression on his face. A man screams in pain, he is hurt. Two more men sit somberly, they are injured and defeated. Elkin looks up startled. A villager calls for the doctor. Another man states that his son's arm is injured. Elkin examines the wound carefully. Elkin is startled, realizing people need help. The villager needs something to cool the burns, but there isn't enough water. Elkin tries to recall the past. He removes the cloth over the wounded man. He thinks he has to do something. Elkin looks at the villagers and wonders what he is supposed to do. Villagers work together to stop the fire from spreading. They are desperately trying to save their home and the nearby forest. A child cries out, wondering where Elkin is. Elkin runs towards the voice. The voice echoes in Elkin's mind, asking about his parents. He flinches, curling up, a scream pierces the air. Stop. Kaya finds Aneta sitting alone near the ruined village and asks if she is okay. Aneta asks what happened. Kaya tries to shake Elkin out of his stupor, urging him to act like a doctor. He's overwhelmed by memories of his parents' death. Kaya asks Elkin if his parents died in a fire. He trails off, barely able to grasp the memory. He is overwhelmed by his memories again, this time his parents' death. Elkin remembers his parents dying. He had to leave everything behind to survive. He blames the Sun Witch. A figure in red, face obscured, stares intently with piercing yellow eyes. Thurian can't believe he was deceived, and that Elkin would treat him that way. Suddenly, the knight interrogates Elkin, asking if he is a spy. Mark asks what he's doing here. The hooded figures confirm they're helping on Thurian's orders. He hears Aneta is helping too and rushes to save her from the village fire. Griselda rushes away, telling them to take Heisey to the castle. But Kaya is stopped and questioned about where she's going. Someone approaches the burning village. They have red hair. Aneta, they yell. He recalls the day he had to leave everything behind. Because of, my parents died, I had to leave town, everything, he cries. He remembers his parents were burned alive, because of the Sun Witch. A figure in a cloak watches. What did he just? Elkin is spotted and rushed out of sight. Another knight yells, finding Elkin, but is asked to help more people. She struggles with her decision. She wants to support him, understanding that she is from Mormarata. Elkin says there's nothing he can do. His knight confronts him about helping. The others overhear someone saying, "You don't have to go, Elkin." Then a masked figure says, "Miss Kaya, you don't have to go." Elkin, devastated by the sight of his burning village, says there is nothing left. Elkin, remembering the loss of his parents, clenches his fist. "No, I have to go, I'm okay now, Aneta." Elkin has accepted what he needs to do and now goes to Aneta. "I'm sure I'll regret it later." As they approach the burning village, they can see the fire is spreading rapidly. "This is, Master, can't your power somehow?" Kaya asks. The hooded figure thinks maybe if they were really a god, they could have helped. Thurian overhears this and decides, despite his thoughts, he will help. A cloaked figure watches the burning town in dismay. The sight of destruction hits him hard. Water drips, leaving a small puddle on the ground after Aneta fainted. The fire is finally out, but everyone is exhausted. He suggests they should head back now to rest up after such a long night. Elkin sluggishly agrees to help, as the villagers urgently ask him to wait. The villagers ask if he's really leaving, but Elkin says he's done all he can. The villager apologizes and says he shouldn't have acted that way. Another villager replies, pointing out the damage and how long it will take to rebuild. They assess the damage. They agree that the capital is close enough to ask for help. Blondie is beckoned to approach and listen. The villagers are thankful and ask the blonde knight if it's true. He is snatched and thrown. He asks who decided that. The white-haired knight scolds him for deserting the staff and acting without permission. The white-haired knight tells him he's being praised, but would have been held accountable if his decision had gone wrong. The golden knight says he is learning to take responsibility for his actions. He replies saying he'll keep working hard. The man says Elkin kept saying it was because of the Sun Knight. The hooded figure continues. I only knew that they were dead, he never talked about it. Annetta, flustered, says Kyan would have talked about it to her sister. She says she's tired and wants to rest. He reflects on Elkin's words. His parents died far away on a battlefield, but he doubts himself. The hooded figure stops, wondering if the story is true. Annetta thinks about her medicine and needing to take it soon. One of the men wonders if Greiselda found out, Elkin would just be dismissed. The worst outcome would be if King Mormodes found out. He calls Kaya to come. Kaya yells Greiselda as she gets closer to the royal Imric Knight. Suranese and Diane ask if Kaya is finished with the Sun Knight's sword. Inez, fueled by ambition, declares that today marks the end of her life as a commoner. She is determined to make a name for herself in battle and become a lord. 8 years prior, on the Cantalis Plains, a young boy tells Inez to remember his name. The scene shifts to Hildegger's military camp where Inez meets with Sir Kaltz. Inez delivers Hildegger's sword, announcing herself upon entering the tent. A knight asks Lady Hildegger if she isn't eating. If you don't want to, shall I put it away? Inez observes that Hildegger, typically quiet, seems unusually moody today. The troops are restless, but there's still no order to march. They notice General Albrecht's advanced troops must be facing the northern forces already. Hildegger seems distracted. An Imric knight heads toward Hildegger's tent at full speed. The other soldiers seem surprised by his urgent arrival. The Imric knights emerge, one stating Hildegger is coming out. Soldiers are told to form ranks. The northern army is coming. The speaker declares they are in Mormorata territory and that they must not let the north advance further. Let's go, Greiselda. A distant voice calls out, Elda. Kaya calls Greiselda and another voice snaps, pharmacist, what were you doing? The knight wonders where Sir Thurian is. Elkin says he went south on business and will return in a few days. Elkin is preparing medicine for a village. Greiselda looks startled as Elkin steps away and tells him to do as he likes. She notes, Kaya sighs frustrated, she can't make sense of things. Kaya, she hears, and asks if Elkin got permission. Elkin, with a package, thinks aloud that they can send it down after loading it. Greiselda squints, noting that everyone seems dazed today. She is also feeling irritated. Greiselda considers the offer to leave the castle. She's surprised at Elkin's suggestion, but readily agrees to sneak away. Elkin extends a hand to Greiselda. She pauses, contemplating the gesture before accepting his silent invitation. Elkin mentions his mother's eye color was the same as his, while his father's were light gray. Kaya agrees. Elkin wonders if Kaya has something to tell him, concerned with her intentions. Another man asks his opinion on her. Elkin wonders why it suddenly occurred to him. Thurian keeps asking him about it, and Kaya is also quite curious. Kaya asks Elkin what he thinks of her, causing him to abruptly stop the wagon. Kaya dismounts from the wagon, perhaps to stretch her legs along the path. An older woman struggles to climb the rocky terrain when Kaya and Elkin arrive. Kaya asks if she needs help, but the woman insists on going on her way. The old woman suddenly yells at Elkin, telling him not to bother with her. Kaya coldly tells Elkin to leave her. Elkin introduces himself as a clinician and offers to help the old woman to her house, but she seems skeptical about him being a northerner. He asks if she thinks he's easily dissuaded. The old woman reveals a bandaged leg and mentions the fire in the town. She clarifies she lives at the foot of the mountain. Since they're making such a fuss, she accepts their help. Without hesitation, Kaya hoists the old woman onto her shoulders. Elkin shouts at them, if you're going, let's hurry. Hildegger is surrounded by enemies. Her troops are being pushed back at an alarming rate. Someone asks why she is not using magic. A blinding flash momentarily obscures the battlefield. Kaya shields her eyes, noticing Hildegger has disappeared. She wonders if the Sun Witch has fallen from her horse. As the Sun Witch disappears, the battle continues to rage. An enemy knight brings down his sword with a resounding clang. A soldier cries out as he falls. A soldier is struck hard as the battle rages. Another soldier cries out in pain as someone declares they must die and then gets stabbed. Griselda screams in pain as she's struck by a blade. A knight yells to regroup and retreat to Eppeldorn. Someone asks where Diane is as another speaks of Hildegger. The Mormorata troops yell to retreat as they are getting pushed back. A cry goes out, "Oh, Lady Griselda." Griselda is struck, blood dripping down her armor, a gasp. Elkin apologizes, offering to clean up a mess. He feels he should have been more careful. Another offers to help too. Two castle staff members comment on Griselda's distant behavior and how distracted she appears. The sound of hooves echo as Griselda's body rattles in the carriage. Elkin awakes, confused and alarmed. He cries out for Griselda. The man observes Elkin awake and unable to move. The battle has happened. Inez lies wounded, muttering as Diane sits vigilantly nearby. Annetta smiles unseen. The man watches him rest, his injuries severe. He must protect the wounded and Eppeldorn. He must recover. He firmly says no. In that case he wants to. He remembers his little sibling. Heisey struggles, wishing to see Elkin again, not wanting to die. A cart rattles. The door rattles as the shadow of someone lingers outside, watching them. The door clicks open as a servant announces new clothes from Griselda. Elkin quickly starts changing, unaware of the door. The servant hears someone speak outside the door. She says, "I see." The man thinks things were a little strange. A man on a horse passes by someone who is running. Suddenly the horse squeals. Griselda calls out, "Mother," relieved to see her. She exclaims, "Finally you're back." She runs towards Lord Albrecht, jumping to embrace him. He adjusts his shirt, reminiscing about meeting Hildegger. He was a rookie, unable to even look at her face. His memory flashes back to his time as a soldier. A maid approaches, carrying a neatly folded pile of clothes. He wonders how Heisey and Lady Hildegger are really able to endure all that has happened in the castle. Hildegger remembers a battlefield. She wonders if everyone is okay as she continues onward. They took turns carrying the old woman as they journey to a lone house. Someone must have gone to help, she thinks, sighing. Elkin wonders if she lives alone. The old man groans in pain as the maid asks about his leg injury. Elkin blames the Sun Knight for everything that has happened. A map depicts the North's superiority. He thinks back, they believed it would all be over quickly. However, everything changed when the Sun Knight appeared. The old man asks if the war is over and if his daughter returned. "If I'm a knight," he mutters. Elkin introduces himself. He notes Kaya has suddenly become quiet. The water is out. He offers to get more. Elkin stops Kaya a moment. The door creaks open slightly below them. Elkin listens at the door. He says, "I don't think she'll last long." He remembers treating this type of wound before and how quickly it deteriorates. She'll stay with him. He accepts her offer to accompany him to the river. As the door creaks open, someone asks, You didn't go with him, Kaya." The old man is still asleep. A young Hildegger declares, "I am Hildegger alias." She remembers the old man groaning in his sleep and scoffs, calling Inez's condition a prank. Someone asks about a daughter, replying, "For you." A body is lying wounded. The figure stands over fallen soldiers. A caption above says, "To tell you." Hildegger is defeated as she whispers the name of her mother. She lies on the ground, bloodied and injured. Hildegger is in pain as she thinks of Inez. "Lady Sun Knight, because of this body," Kaya watches her, "forgive my rudeness." Hildegger questions if her daughter died in the war 8 years ago. She remembers fighting with Inez in every battle except the last one. A man wonders how a parent could lose a child for 5 years. The Sun Knight is accused of traveling with a northerner. A man states he's relying on another's generosity to survive in a similar situation. He thinks the person doesn't know who he is. Someone warns others to watch out for Elkin, the northerner. His rage is hidden. She wonders why a northerner would stay in Emmerich. She asks him to leave, resenting his presence. The scene shifts. "The North surrendered," someone exclaims with disbelief and shock. The crowd rejoices, the North surrendered. Merrick knelt before the Sun Knight, it's Mormarata's victory. The war ends in victory, but a wounded Hildegger hears her name and Anese's. Hildegger injured whispers Anese's name, wondering why she didn't come. A crowd hails the Sun Knight, also calling out Anese's name. Elkin stops Kaya, shouting her name. She is startled. I wonder if she's okay, he's worried and calls her name again. An ominous voice warns to watch out for the Northerner. Annetta is startled by an unseen threat. The mysterious woman decides to return to the castle. Elkin peeks from behind, asking to accompany her. Annetta confidently decides, I'll go first. Elkin watches her intently, seemingly trailing behind her. He slowly follows her, stepping over what looks like a bucket. Lady Elva looks at Thurian in shock and asks if Victor is dead. Thurian grabs her shoulders in distress, stating his siblings are gone too. She cries for Victor. A voice says, you're scaring your mother. Someone shouts for Anton and Mila, where are they? Someone rages about the Northerners. Another voice says they are vulgar and shouldn't be associated with. Hildegger, plagued by violent thoughts, wishes death upon her enemies. She clenches her fist. A man then approaches, gently taking her hand, worried. Griselda says, let's go in, Victor. I even prepared your favorite herring dish. She thinks Thurian should be drawing in the garden. Someone whispers, young master, as another calls for his nanny. An old woman urges a man on horseback to visit his family. A golden knight rides off on horseback. Under the general's order, I have a job to do. The golden knight is determined to stand out and make his family proud. He wants to be acknowledged by the general. Thurian presents the gifts, but the sudden brightness is surprising everyone. Elkin approaches Thurian. He is impressed by the gifts. Thurian asks if anything happened while he was gone. Elkin hesitates, then something comes thrusting at him. The spear missed Elkin. Thurian is worried. He says that he heard scars are cool. Thurian offers Elkin ointment for scars, but implies he may not need it. Elkin says he'll use it well, prompting a smirk. Thurian reflects on his hasty entrance, then realizes that the best way forward is with money. He plans to lower guards. The townsfolk enjoy the gifts brought by Thurian, but someone blames the Northerners for something unseen. The hooded figure hears the noise. He scratches his head, wondering who could be here so early. Griselda and Kaya return, greeted by someone who excitedly shows off the gifts. Elkin is surprised at their arrival and is called to try some. Griselda says she's fine and Thurian insists he's good after the spear, but he takes a deep breath as he walks, sighing. Thurian asks if anything happened while he was away. He then contemplates his chances with Kaya. Attack this gap. Griselda is wary of the changed mood, but seeing the village burn still affects her. A hooded figure says he didn't expect Hildegger to care about the village. He shuffles as Griselda arrives. The key to the food storage is missing. The chef realizes he needs to find it to prepare ingredients for breakfast. He tells Griselda he can't find it. She asks if he was the last one to use it. The squabble continues until someone yells, hey. Another asks what's going on, recognizing Griselda. The squabble is interrupted. The speaker points out Griselda doesn't have her gloves, the initial subject of the argument. Thurian realizes his gloves are missing. He always leaves them on the table. The castle looms, appearing ancient. Something is missing or maybe disappearing. Someone is shouting about their ring, handkerchief, and necklace going missing. Chapter 32, White Feet 2 begins with the question, are they disappearing? Someone is banging on Elkin's door asking about missing items. Apparently, things are disappearing from the castle. Elkin frantically searches through his notes but hesitates. He notices something is amiss. The notes I wrote on the medicine's formulation are gone. Elkin is shocked to realize that his notes on the medicine's formulation are missing. I have the recipe memorized, but what if someone intentionally did this? Elkin wonders if he's jumping to conclusions. Who would do this? Just then, Kaya rushes in, calling for Griselda, interrupting his thoughts. Someone made a list of missing items. Most are odds and ends. The silver-haired guard pauses, thinking. She looks at the other knight and asks, was it this guy? Kaya raises her voice, startling Elkin. She asks Elkin if he has lost something too. He confirms the medicine formulation notes are gone. Kaya offers to look for it together. The Golden Knight is surprised by the suggestion, firmly stating, no. He seems to consider what the silver-haired knight is saying and asks, "Then should I look for something different?" looking at Griselda. Thurian is asked to stand guard at the gates. The Golden Knight tells Elkin they will talk more later. "You're telling me to keep watch." Thurian begins to walk away. He seems to have a smirk on his face. After hearing about the missing items, the First Sword gathers the knights. She wants to trust everyone but informs them. Guards are ordered to vacate the castle. The situation is unknown, there may be an intruder. People whisper about the commotion. The missing items started small and unnoticeable, but they are becoming more significant now. After seeing the white feet approach, they vanish without a trace. The castle occupants are worried. They believe the castle is haunted by ghosts. A creaking noise is heard, then white feet slide across the floor. The castle residents scream, "White feet!" Kaya hears the noise and wonders what is happening. People saw white feet and thought it was Kaya. Elkin says that she shouldn't be walking around alone. Griselda tells Elkin she will be on the third floor all day. Elkin hopes it's just a feeling. Elkin realizes Kaya has been avoiding him. He wonders if their bond has weakened since the village fire. Or maybe she dislikes him. Elkin realizes, "I've started thinking and now I can't stop." The maid checks on him. Later he reflects on how he's treated, but since Kaya isn't close by. Elkin reflects it's a little lonely. The Golden Knight calls out, "Anybody home?" A girl peeks around the corner, wondering if she should enter and sneakily looks around the area. She gasps, surprised by something. Thurian teases Annetta about being a gatekeeper. Annetta seems flustered by the presence of Sir Thurian. Someone reports that the stables are empty. Thurian wonders why Annetta is alone and she responds sheepishly. Then she says Sir Griselda. Thurian notes something feels off, like he's being excluded. Now he wonders what to do with the important intel he found. Thurian realizes that Kaya and Griselda have always been wary of him. Now he's determined to extract information about the Lord. Someone attacks. Kaya quickly shields Elkin and they're both sent flying backwards. An armored figure swings his sword. Kaya gasps as they crash into a wall, sending a basket of laundry flying. Boong fluttering. Someone catches Griselda as they crash, the laundry basket falling. "Sir Griselda," a voice calls. Thurian rushes to check on Griselda. Thurian wonders aloud what's going on as he helps Griselda. Kaya sighs that all the laundry will have to be rewashed. Annetta says Elkin is in the pharmacy. The woman mentions things have been disappearing from the castle. Thurian realizes Elkin lost his medicine recipe note. Sir Griselda. Thurian realizes he's been found out. He admits he's come as a spy. Thurian senses something is amiss. He wonders if it's a ghost or an intruder. Heisey is worried. The narrator shares that besides Kaya and Griselda, Heisey is close to the Sun Knight. "Don't worry too much," Thurian addresses her. "Even if something were to happen, Miss Heisey, I." Thurian asks about Griselda's ankle and offers to help her inside. Griselda seems flustered and thinks that he is being kind. She happily agrees to the help. Thurian decides that if he is going to be suspected anyway, he'll dig deeper. He resolves to go against Hildegger alias. Annetta stares out of the window. She notes it was sunny earlier, but now it looks like rain. With a plop, a wet rag falls. Elkin relaxes, stating it's quiet, though he says that a guy stares like a puppy. Thurian reflects, stating it was supposed to be this way from the start. A figure states that the guy who's been helping is a northerner. There's a loud crash nearby. The fight causes a box to topple from the shelf. The box rattles and slides across the floor. It spills out colorful gems and jewels. Elkin finds his gemstones. He picks one up, it glows faintly in his hand. This. The figure mentions that his eye color is similar to another person's. He repeats Kaya's name. Heisey leans back and sighs. She looks at a small white gem she's holding. The mysterious man examines a stone. It's similar to that guy's eyes, he remembers Kaya. Kaya's eyes snap open, a cold sweat forming on her brow. She rises to her feet, socked feet landing with a flop. Elkin looks down at his desk. He exhales, considering all the possibilities. A knock echoes through the room. Elkin hears his name called. He's startled when Kaya bursts through the door. Annetta greets Elkin with a smile. "Hello, how are you?" Elkin replies, "Ah, it's you, Annetta, good to see you." Annetta is curious about what is going on, inquiring if Elkin was waiting for someone. She heard he lost something important and offered to help him find it. Elkin debates whether to let the newcomer in. Finally, he announces, "Since you're not just anyone, come on in." Kaya sighs. She seems to have finished reading and is deep in thought. Annetta asks if Elkin is okay, noting his frequent sighs. She wonders if it's because of the missing items. Elkin tries to brush it off, but his nervousness is evident. Elkin scratches his head, trying to figure out what's going on. Annetta reads from the journal. "Well, to be honest." She blushes, looking up and says, "I'm confused." Elkin is upset and sits down, wondering if he's been imagining his good relationships with people. Annetta curiously asks who Elkin is talking to. Elkin explains he can't find the right time to speak and isn't sure how to even ask. He worries about making a bad impression. Scenes flash of a young girl wondering, what if that's really what it is? Annetta tries to reassure Elkin, saying it's just a misunderstanding. Elkin is embarrassed but relieved, feeling like he's always showing his weak side to her. Elkin reads, "But just in case, let me ask." The figures make their way to the building. One figure says, "You're from the central north part of the kingdom." The figure admits his family wasn't well known, coming to the capital by chance. He adds, "Then Miss Heisey and Sir Greiselda have been here the longest. Kaya is a new handmaid." Kaya startles the figure who is washing the noble's uniform in the well. The noble twists his ankle. The knight shares cadet memories with Heisey while doing laundry, then requests castle information. Annetta admits she was worried about Elkin. She notes the castle's unique atmosphere, surprising her by how easily she adapted. She is happy Elkin is doing well. A piercing scream is heard, causing Elkin and Annetta to flinch. The others around them are similarly startled. People enter the room, concerned by the scream. It's a mess, and someone claims they saw something vanish near the window. The scream is followed by rumbling thunder. Elkin wonders if it was a ghost. The knight is skeptical but doesn't dismiss it. Above the castle, a silent alarm rings out. "Intruder." Someone is inside. Elkin and Kaya sense danger. "Intruder" rings in their minds. The story is titled "The Setting Sun, Cold Eyes and White Feet." As the crows call overhead, a mysterious figure apologizes for sending someone back so soon. "It can't be helped," they say. Elkin questions the existence of ghosts and if they would encounter one outside. Kaya hesitates, remembering a story from Heisey. Annetta is startled when asked if she's scared of the path back. "Legends say you disappear if you come across it." Elkin smiles, asking Annetta to come with him. Annetta blushes, agreeing to go with him down the hill. Annetta blushes, stopping herself from getting too excited about Elkin. Annetta stops to remember something she read on the way down to Elkin. The wind whistles around the castle walls. Elkin points to a hallway on the third floor where he saw movement. Annetta tries to reassure him. Annetta happily agrees, pulling Elkin along. "Let's hurry up and go before it gets darker." They hold hands as they walk to the third floor. Elkin thinks Kaya is on her own. Elkin seems lost in thought, muttering, "I'm a little confused about someone." Annetta slaps Elkin to get his attention, urging him to move faster. She claims she was just making a fuss. Elkin rushes ahead, shouting back to Annetta that it could be an intruder. He warns her to be careful on the way back. Annetta thinks he has that look on his face. Suddenly, Annetta pauses, a dazed look on her face. An unfamiliar voice calls out, "Hey, Shorty." Elsewhere, Diane and Denise are watching Elkin and Annetta from the ramparts. Annetta yells, "It's not Shorty, it's Annetta." Someone off-screen sarcastically says that Annetta does a good job saying her name. Annetta states that she is leaving. A knight offers to escort her. Heisey's maid confronts her, reminding her to focus on her task. Heisey quickly rushes off, saying goodbye. Suddenly, a voice calls out for Sir Greiselda. Elkin shouts for Annetta because she saw something on the third floor. Someone shouts for order in the castle, telling the servants to stay in their rooms. At the same time, Elkin is told to take something from an unknown person. Elkin is shocked to hear Sir Greiselda's voice. What could she possibly be planning? Elkin, with a determined look, grabs a dagger. He is ready to face whatever lies ahead on the third floor. Someone is making their way down the stairs. The sound of footsteps fills the silent castle halls. The halls are too quiet, making Elkin nervous. They split up to look for the intruder, checking different areas of the castle. Elkin tries to open the door, but it's locked. His heart races in his chest. Kaya, startled, hears Elkin's voice. He urgently asks if she's seen anyone. Elkin announces that there's an intruder on the floor. The woman insists she's been alone. Elkin asks her to stop arguing and leave immediately. He tells her to come down with him. Elkin realizes someone is in the castle with them. He calls out to Kaya, his voice filled with urgency, hoping she's all right. Elkin confronts Kaya about avoiding him since their trip to town. He notices her distant behavior persists even now, making him wonder why. Kaya asks if she did something wrong. Elkin says she avoids him without giving reasons. He clenches his fist. The woman Kaya demands to know who he thinks he is. Elkin calmly replies she's mistaken. Kaya responds, annoyed at Elkin's questioning, telling him to mind his own business. Elkin asks her what she wants. Kaya asks if that's all Elkin thinks of her. She admits she thought she was getting to know him too. Kaya yells as Elkin abruptly pushes her to the side, his face now twisted with determination. Something is getting closer. Elkin whispers that someone is really there and tells Kaya to head to the first floor, but she refuses. He reminds her that it's really dangerous. Kaya asks Elkin why he's protecting her while trembling. She wants to know why he makes that face. Kaya thinks back to their earlier interactions, frustrated with Elkin's actions. She mutters stupid to herself, full of annoyance. Someone thinks Elkin is fooling everyone, but there's chilling wrath in his heart. Kaya states that once Elkin learns who she is, he won't treat her the same. Elkin senses something but deems it insignificant. Kaya resolves that Elkin will know who she is when he confronts her. Elkin tightens his grip on the dagger. Kaya tells him to step aside, resolving that this is something she needs to handle herself. Elkin is shocked by her words. Elkin shouts at Kaya, questioning her actions. Footsteps echo, growing louder. Someone is heading towards them. Kaya rushes to meet the approaching threat. Kaya activates her powers and prepares to fight but hesitates. Elkin shouts her name, now fearful for her safety. Elkin is moving to catch her as Kaya flies through the air, moving faster than normal people can. The clattering of metal echoes as the approaching person gets closer. A man screams for Kaya as she is thrown through the air by an unseen force. Elkin crashes into the castle's wooden floor with a thud, and his dagger clatters nearby. After crashing, pieces of wood fall around Elkin as he struggles to breathe. Kaya is dazed on the ground and calls out as Elkin protects her. Elkin tries to protect Kaya from an unseen assailant, but he can't react in time. Fury, he asks, getting slashed. The servants worry about Griselda's disappearance. One suggests calling Thurian, as another is hearing a loud clang. The door bursts open and the castle staff rushes in, yelling about a thief. The castle staff pause, holding their weapons, and confused to find the thief is just a cat. They notice it has been gathering items on the third floor. The castle staff are relieved to find it was just a cat gathering things. A knight notes it seems to like Kaya. The staff insists they raise the cat. Hildegger comments they haven't seen rodents in the castle. They turn to Kaya, asking what she'll name it. After they decide to keep the cat, Kaya suggests naming it White Feet. But Elkin seems uncomfortable with the pet. He steps forward to remind Kaya of their prior conversation. Kaya quietly beckons White Feet to come and steps aside. Elkin speaks to Kaya, saying he will leave her alone if she is uncomfortable. Kaya suddenly yells that his logic is off. Elkin denies Kaya's statement. Kaya continues but hesitates, trying to explain that it's not about Elkin's past or actions. She sighs, frustrated. She admits she's the problem and was confused. Elkin's heart pounds. He insists Kaya stop making that face at him. Kaya questions his statement. Kaya, annoyed by Elkin's complaints, retorts that she won't avoid him anymore. Elkin denies avoiding her and they bicker back and forth. Outside the door, a man yells about hearing about an intruder in the castle. The knight is upset that Griselda didn't call him for a cat. Thurian thinks the uproar was for nothing. Griselda is looking at Elkin, calling his name. The red-haired woman returns a note. Thurian whispers, pressing if she'll cooperate. He thanks her. Someone takes slow, careful steps as they approach the room, the door creaking open. The knight peers inside, realizing the door is unlocked. He braces himself, thinking, all right. Elkin mutters about the mess as he flips through books. He's trying to find a note with the formula written on it. Elkin exclaims that he has found the note. He tries to read the ingredient list. Someone whispers Sir Thurian near the door. Elkin, shocked, watches papers flutter to the ground. The figure turns and lunges for Elkin. As the figure lunges at Elkin, Griselda appears in the doorway, asking what he's doing. Hearing the sound of approaching footsteps, a figure turns around, surprised. Books and documents fall to the ground, revealing the intruder, Lord Thurian. A thump echoes as a paper falls. Kaya emerges from the door, questioning his presence with a stern "What are you doing here?" Heisey calls out from behind, as the stumbling knight tries to gather the dropped books. Thurian picks up a small piece of paper. He looms over Elkin, remarking on how hard he's been trying to please him. Elkin is silent, listening intently. He continues, admitting he struggles to recognize faces. Relying on other cues, Thurian reveals that there's more to his visit. He asks Elkin if he remembers his hometown story, the battle near a castle. Thurian recounts how his hometown was a forgotten castle during a tragic battle. No one came to help them. A figure with a red cloak is mentioned. He appeared through the great army and the north wind. The woman speaks of people disappearing after coming to the castle. Thurian explains that there was a knight who fell off the cliff, then a chef who knew too much. He kept it quiet. Lord Thurian stands, looming over Elkin, questioning his loyalty. Did you think that I don't know what loyalty is? An eerie whisper mentions something that disappears. The panel shifts to a pair of feet nicknamed White Feet. He admits to being a fool. The consequences won't be just orders forever. Kaya finds a box and decides to return it to the pharmacist herself. She tells the person in the room to clean up as she steps out. Elkin gasps as Thurian grabs his arm with surprising strength. His shout echoes in the room. The grip is tight and painful. Elkin clearly didn't expect it. Elsewhere, a spy overhears a secret conversation that may jeopardize Elkin's position and plans. One day, Elkin thinks. A figure analyzes a map, noting the proximity to the royal castle. Liquid splashes nearby. The figure, startled, wonders where the water came from. The man on the floor spits on Thurian's shoes, declaring he'll never betray Elkin. You think I'll tell a bunch of dirty people about his identity? The interrogated man is washing his face, full of bruises. I didn't get to hear all of it, he thinks aloud. Overlooking the castle, the narration declares a clear destination. A captive questions, "What do I do with that?" while looking at a bucket. The net is pulled up from the river. "Hey, what's that?" he asks, curious about what's been caught. The fishermen look at the feet in the river. That thing, what?" they exclaim, confused. The heartbeats grow louder, resonating with an unknown tension. A voice calls Elkin's name, pulling him from a troubled slumber. Elkin wakes up in a sweat, blushing furiously. What? He wonders aloud, confused by his dream. Elkin is in disbelief, remembering how he saved Griselda. He can't stop thinking about it. Elkin's thoughts are cut short as Thurian greets him at the castle. Thurian informs him Annetta is in the garden with Kaya. Annetta arrives to ask if they slept well. Annetta asks how Hildegger is feeling, and Hildegger confirms she's doing well thanks to Elkin. Annetta mentions that the blanket needs to be dried. Thurian takes his leave. Annetta's voice cuts through the air, calling Elkin with excitement. She spots Elkin walking with Thurian and Hildegger. Thurian wonders if Annetta came early, while Elkin shows the group some wood sorrel seeds. Elkin explains the variety of flowers that it produces. Aneta tells Elkin that giving flowers means the receiver falls in love with the giver. Thurian thinks it's cute. Thurian scoffs that Northerners don't believe in superstitions. He used to love those stories as a kid. You're a little kid. Elkin notices White Feet the cat eating the wood sorrel. Beck, he shouts. Kaya stops Elkin from digging, cradling White Feet. Kaya thinks to herself and Thurian responds, I guess you don't even care. Kaya notes she's not as tall as she thought. She wonders if White Feet is similar to Aneta. Aneta continues to talk about Kaya. She mentions that her eyes are special. Aneta's eyes shimmer like a sunset filled with secrets unknown. Thurian watches the group. What will happen next? Griselda questions why Kaya is staring at her, snapping her fingers. Kaya is caught off guard and mutters, no, nothing, before turning away and calling her weird. Suddenly something hits Thurian's head. Awk, he cries. He claims Aneta hit him too hard. Someone shouts Sir Thurian. A knight leaves the castle showing restlessness. Later, another figure follows on horseback, obscured by a dark cloak. Elkin, standing at attention, calls out, who are you? The hooded figure clicks his tongue, uninterested in the guard's questions. He asks if he is in charge of the castle. How did he even get here? The cloaked figure asks to be let in, handing over a rolled scroll. Elkin is shocked to see it. It's the king's seal. Was this sent by the royal family? The hooded figure announces, I am the shaman Ulrich. This is my companion Laszlo. The shaman Ulrich declares, I'm here to cure the Holy Lord's disease. A cloaked figure asks, you guys, was this from the royal castle? She introduces herself as Ulrich the witch and her companion Laszlo. Ulrich demands to see the person in charge, claiming she can cure the Holy Lord. The Emmerich knight is surprised by Ulrich's words. His focus shifts from Griselda to the witch and her companion Laszlo. Ulrich is pulling a horse as she walks towards the castle. Elkin recognizes them as Northerners and Kaya confirms his suspicions. The group continues their journey. Heisey is surprised at the size of Ulrich and Laszlo. Kaya thinks about the fact that people have been asking for witches. She ponders on the situation. People spread word of the witch. News travels fast that she came from the castle. Ulrich finds the person in charge, she claims. Apparently it looks like you're in charge. I've finally seen you. After Ulrich meets the person in charge, a servant offers to help them. Ulrich declines, stating, it's not that heavy for him as you can see. A man stops Elkin, who introduces himself with a smile. The man is surprised to see a northerner. He asks where Elkin is from and how he arrived at the castle. Elkin is lost in thought. Aneta startles him, questioning his cold behavior towards a friendly greeting. The horse suddenly pulls away, scaring Heisey. Elkin quickly grabs her to keep her from falling. The horse almost steps on Heisey. Whoa, bah, I just got tempted, she exclaims. Elkin quickly pats her head to check if she's okay. Aneta is startled and worries about her hair. Elkin checks if Aneta is okay as she freaks out. Kaya glances nervously around before entering a room. She must inform Griselda about what happened with Elkin. Griselda thinks there was no mention of someone from the castle. Ulrich says they rushed here. A question lingers, how much did she know? The others ponder the unusual combination of northerners and witches. Griselda agrees, finding it unfamiliar. Another chimes in, claiming to follow the teachings of Arjumesha. The man questions Arjumesha, elsewhere hands unite amidst a glow. Yes, a voice confirms. The narrator speaks of Red Land where the sun god Karya first arrived. Is it the Dead Land? It's said the indigenous people disappeared, but the ancient teachings remain. The Holy Lord's suffering isn't just a disease. Ulrich explains that the Holy Lord knows there's a limit. To free him from the curse, a ritual is required. Ulrich explains the ritual, the sun must be at its reddest. Griselda replies, it's tomorrow. Griselda looks up with determined eyes. She is ready for the ritual. Ulrich explains the ritual must happen when the sun is reddest and the moon disappears. She announces that it's tomorrow. Chapter 41, Ritual Day 3, begins with Ulrich standing firm, ready for what comes next. Kaya opens the door with force and startles the maid. Kaya gives a slight smirk and says, cute little maid, but you can't use it if you steal it. Ulrich halts, using her staff for support. Griselda asks why the Holy Lord is cursed and if performing the ritual will end it. Ulrich wonders how Griselda knows this. She says she can't guarantee anything because humans crossed a forbidden line. The sun is setting. Ulrich declares that she can identify who will receive the drink tomorrow, heightening the tension in the room. The noble says, honestly, I have no knowledge of witchcraft or magic. I can't even judge this matter. Griselda thinks it's an opportunity. Ulrich says everything will go back to how it was before Elkin came. Elsewhere, someone mentions that it's tomorrow. The knight hopes the master's illness will be cured. As Griselda reads the letter, she finds it ordinary, simply stating they are sending someone who can help. She suspects Ulrich knows about curses. A memory of Arjumesha appears, confirming the curse is linked to the god. It is troubling. They must accept the ritual despite its limitations. A voice echoes, we might be able to buy more time. Someone remembers Elkin is from the north. I'm sure he hates the master. The Holy Lord is the first to know something bad is coming. Heaven has its limits and the sun is setting. Elkin is outside holding flowers and smiling. Kaya wonders if this is dangerous but thinks, but the pharmacist, this is my. Lord Hildegard declares, I will take the ritual. The others look at her with concern and shock. As the group gathers, someone says, tomorrow, everyone except minimum manpower will be evacuated for the ritual. Someone says to be careful. Someone comments on Elkin's hometown distance. Another person suggests going to the speaker's brother's house. They remind Elkin he'll stay at the castle with guards tomorrow. Elkin walks through the castle, passing staff and knights. The castle is being prepared for the ritual tomorrow. Elkin is working, he says, all right now as long as I boil it down slowly. He appears to be in his room. He realizes the ritual is the only option left to cure the Holy Lord. Someone knocks at Elkin's door. He seems surprised someone is already there asking for the medicine. Elkin is startled when someone calls his name. Lady Hildegard asks, can I come in? Lord Albrecht stands guard. He wonders about Ulrich, a witch sent from the royal castle. Elsewhere, someone recalls corresponding with the commander yesterday. The commander wonders if everything will be all right if he leaves it like this. Elkin startles as Annetta arrives at his door. You came here quickly, if you want the medicine, she says, calling Elkin's name to confirm it's him. The door opens and Hildegard asks Elkin if she can come inside. Elkin is surprised and questions why Kaya is in his room. He figures she wants her medicine, but she reveals she wants to talk to him. Hildegard asks Elkin what he calls the herb. What do you call that? Can a lot be made at once? Hildegard reveals she's been providing medicinal herbs. I see, Elkin responds. You work hard even when it doesn't concern you. Elkin says, I was glad when you said that. Hildegard sits alone, muttering, Elkin. Elkin ponders, if the curse is lifted tomorrow. Elkin thinks about Annetta's offer. He realizes that the capital might be more helpful than the castle. Kaya stares at Elkin, awaiting what he has to say. Elkin reveals his desire to travel elsewhere after his duties at the castle are complete. He thinks it will be difficult to do so. Hildegard then asks Elkin if that's the only thing he regrets. Elkin thinks this person is. Kaya isn't deep, even if I say anything. Elkin questions if Hildegard means something else. Hildegard answers, expecting what? Elkin states he recognizes her eyes. Hildegard questions if this was at the general store. She thinks it must be her illusion. Forget what happened here. Hildegard states that it's already evening and prepares to leave Elkin's room. Elkin replies that he'll be down once he is finished. Hildegard says, all right then. Hildegard bids Elkin farewell, stating that she'll see him tomorrow. Elkin clenches his fist, thinking that he doesn't want to go back. Hildegard reflects on their conversation and says she just wanted a closer look. Elkin closes the door behind Hildegard, a determined look in his eyes. The night air is cold and still. Footsteps echo through the castle halls. Hildegard turns to look at Elkin with a stern gaze. The sound of a rocking chair fills the air. Hildegard sits by the fire in a trance and someone says, Ulrich, right, did I disturb you? Kaya is speaking to someone while Elkin listens from the doorway. She wonders why he doesn't like her that much, maybe because they are both northerners. Hildegard questions if he thinks she wants to meet King Mormodes. Elkin is shocked. How did you get into the royal castle? Elkin retorts, why are you curious about that? Hildegard asks if she has to answer everything. She questions what he believes. Someone touches Elkin's clothing and says, such nice clothing, was it a gift from the Holy Lord? Then they question his trust. Elkin seems to be thinking about Hildegard and their conversation. Hildegard then asks, do you want to meet the king, as she touches her neck. Hildegard looks up, questioning if she should introduce Elkin to the Sun Witch. Elkin asks how. Hildegard pauses, placing her hand to her face. Will you listen to my request first? With a splash, a body is thrown into the lake. The water ripples as the body sinks, carried by the current. Let's go, we have to hurry to get to The pair have arrived in the capital, although it wasn't without difficulties. Suddenly, a hooded figure appears, leaning against a tree, muttering, that's funny. Ulrich whispers Laszlo's name, just as a hooded figure attacks with great force. They are surprised by the sudden attack and exclaims, whoa. The hooded figure stops them. "You're in a hurry," the figure says there's nothing to be wary of. Kaya asks who they are, claiming she doesn't remember them being invited. The hooded figure reveals they believe the pair seeks the Sun Witch, offering help. They hand her a small device. The hooded figure notes it's a tricky place to get into before noticing the royal family's seal. This could change things, they think. Kaya realizes the person chasing Chef Guzdal sought the identity of the witch. The hooded figure deflects Kaya's accusations about worshipping the Sun Witch. Ultimately, they are free to choose their own path. The hooded figure explains what they handed to Kaya may be indispensable. "I think it's something you don't have to lose." The woman asks if he's the Holy Lord's pharmacist, handing him a powder. He's shocked and denies any association. The man hesitates, claiming he doesn't know what he's doing. Kaya retorts, reminding him he wants to meet the king. The woman tells him to look before offering him something. He looks shocked and unsure. "If you can't, can you give it back?" The woman is amused by Elkin's shock and says that he's the sad one, she's just offering a suggestion. What's wrong with just putting it in? The figure states that Northerners don't break their promises. It is Elkin's choice. As the ritual day approaches, someone is snooping around the castle floors, cautious to not be caught. Elkin is conflicted, remembering the woman's request to poison the Holy Lord. As a pharmacist, he can't let others be involved. It must be returned. Elkin is conflicted as he thinks about what the woman wants him to do. Elkin considers what he should do. If it's for the ritual, why secretly put it in? Should I tell Griselda? Elkin thinks of his parents. Are you going to see the witch? It depends on their ability. This might be a great opportunity. A voice tells him to sacrifice something to achieve his goal. The choice is his. Birds fly above the beautiful landscape as someone walks towards the ritual room, determined to follow through. There's a knock at the door. Elkin, it's Heisey, she's there to get some medication. Elkin gazes out of the castle window at the clear skies on ritual day. Griselda is visited by someone who addresses her as Master. Someone thinks, if only today's ritual is properly completed. The man is speaking with the mysterious person. Griselda has just taken a drink for the upcoming ritual. Yes. Griselda hesitates, then takes the offered chalice. She wonders to herself what this ritual will bring as she drinks the offered liquid. Inside the castle, someone calls for Ms. Ulrich, the shaman. Kaya arrives at the castle, ready to meet the Holy Lord. Two maids greet her and say, "I'll guide you to the Lord's room." Kaya and Elkin are guided deeper inside the castle, towards the ritual. One knight asks if everyone is ready to go. Ulrich mentions that only the witch and the drinker should be at the ritual. She tells Griselda to wait downstairs. The Duke announces, "Sir Griselda, I have something to say." Griselda is surprised by the revelation. She pauses before Griselda can answer. "Wait, let's move to another place and talk," Griselda announces. A chilling aura fills the room as the ritual begins, the mood ominous. Past the door awaits the Holy Lord. Ulrich declares they will do the ritual afterward. Ulrich insists only she can speak to the Holy Lord. Laszlo murmurs it's strange that he rushed things. More than that. Ulrich declares she came in a hurry to break the curse of the nobleman, stating that the Lord is trying to deceive her. But then Kaya notices something is wrong with the Holy Lord. The Holy Lord proclaims, "I'm the Holy Lord." Ulrich demands they explain the ritual now. Griselda asks if she said correctly. A maid stretches her arms towards the sky and thinks, Hildegger gets bored and leaves. She then sees someone being arrested, surprised by the sight. The guards discuss Mr. Linderman as he asks what is going on. Someone wonders if it is because the medicines are from the north. They know Elkin needs them urgently. Annetta yells that she must tell the castle. Suddenly someone hits her with a cart and she yells, "Ouch." The soldiers rush to help Annetta, concerned if she's okay. Annetta apologizes, laying amongst spilled medicine on the cart. An alarming discovery, a body falls from the cart. Someone recognizes it as Chef Guzdal, shock filling the room. "Chef Guzdal," they exclaim. Someone asks if they recognize the dead man. Guards share he was hiding after insulting the royal family. They are discussing the incident at a bar. They saw a giant man from the north. A young woman flees, guards shouting, "Miss, where are you going?" Someone asks her. Guards chase after the young woman. She thinks, I have to let him know. The maid describes Eastern Arjumesha, Karya's protection, saying a crow told her a story. The story tells of an immortal being with a power that weighs thousands of lives. It was a story of God. Someone states that such power shouldn't exist. Punishments are natural. Someone questions the word punishment. It's not a disease or a curse, it's a fair punishment. Then someone replies that a method or ritual to break the curse never existed. Then states, I didn't come here for that. An assassin attacks the maid. Their eyes glow with red light before they fall. A voice cries out Heisey amidst a flurry of blood spatters. Annetta cries in distress as she witnesses the bloody aftermath of the attack. There is blood spilled on the floor. A dagger pierces someone's hand, indicating a struggle. Annetta's attacker is stopped by another figure, protecting Annetta from further harm. The attacker is swiftly dealt with by Kaya. She grabs Annetta's wounded hand. Golden light emanates as Kaya uses her power to heal Annetta's hand. Annetta's eyes widen in surprise. The woman smiles maliciously, a sharp sword in her hand. Well, it's been 4 years. As Kaya heals Annetta, the woman menacingly yells, Sun Witch. Hildegger looks up with shock, wondering why no one is coming to help. The knight questions why they aren't needed for the ritual, but Elkin is unresponsive. The knight wonders what is wrong. Two knights discuss Greiselda's location as Annetta sprints towards them, calling out for her sister. She seems confused and concerned about something. Elkin sits down, clearly distressed by the recent events. Hell. Heisey yells at the woman to stay away, terrified of what's to come. The woman claims her stabbed hand is amazing and contains paralyzing poison. She notes she can't maintain the power. The woman tells Kaya that there's a moment before death where time slows. She will cut her to pieces and throw her body in the northern sea. The woman continues her tirade. She accuses Kaya of stealing power, using it for human gain, and defiling the name of God. She proclaims that Kaya is a curse. The woman thinks Kaya's speed is remarkable but not intimidating. She knows the poison is the biggest threat to the Sun Witch. Her expression shifts and she says, it's getting annoying. The bald man looks disturbed, standing near where the fighting occurred. The knight comments on the building and asks if she received the castle as a reward. She denies this, clarifying that she is just a knight. He says one thing. The woman reminisces about past battles, asking if she has been seen before. She recalls when the Sun Witch led an army against allied rulers at Eiffel Dome. The woman reflects on her tactical failings and Eiffel Dome's invincibility. The woman remembers Kaya's strength in battle. Meanwhile, Kaya's enemy stands firm. She is talking to Kaya, accusing her of rambling about annoying things. She asks if she will write her own heroic story. The knight states that if there's nothing else to say, she will leave. She places a hand on Elkin's shoulder. Hildegger says you have to be here, looking determined. Her red eyes glow. She grips her sword tightly, readying for battle. Thunder crashes as two armored knights stare, one calling out sister. Annetta yells that the people are dangerous. Annetta is surprised by the appearance of another person. She didn't realize they had guests. She says she will come back later and tries to leave the room. Thurian rushes toward Annetta. Will he save her from certain doom? The woman screams. She orders Kaya to take her hand off the sword. She says she'll break her head. The woman grabs Annetta while the woman says she is surprised to see her. She says God is on her side. Equites Greiselda, you don't remember me. The woman's eyes narrow, fueled by hatred. She remembers Kaya, the spilled blood of my brother and comrades. The attacker screams in pain, trying to grab her sword. The woman grabbing Aneta says, "It doesn't take time to break this little head." She remarks, "I can't believe I'm seeing you here too." Then states God is on her side. The woman says, "Equites Griselda, you don't remember me." The attacker remembers Kaya. She says Kaya spilled the blood of her brother. The attacker, struggling against Kaya, shouts out, "Rats." Her next move is to climb the wall, ignoring the arrows sticking into the structure. She screams, "Rats, no, don't go up." The attacker's reflection is seen in Kaya's eyes as the fight continues. Kaya sees a reflection of the attacker's silhouette as a murder scene occurs. The attacker recalls fighting on the battlefield, prepared to die. She accepts a duel. The attacker, unbothered, asks if she can still call herself a proud northerner warrior. Kaya angrily shouts to release Aneta now. She asks the attacker what she wants, daring her to kill her. The attacker's vengeful eyes stare with intent. She states, "When your turn comes, you'll pay too." She wonders why the attacker is holding Aneta hostage. The attacker says to her, "You have to be here to prevent others from being informed and to keep me." She calls for Lord Hildegger in a panic. What will she do now? With a crazed look, the attacker throws the remains of the broken plate. "Ahaha," she shouts in victory. The attacker thinks Kaya keeps her distance, wasting time and preventing her from using magic. Her illness returns at sunset. The attacker is trying to finish Kaya before sunset. Heisey is ordered to keep his head down as Kaya unleashes her power. A loud rumbling sound fills the room. The knights think it's coming from the west tower. Someone says they must find Aneta quickly. A figure in the shadows thinks something strange is going on. Elkin remembers something he did. "What?" Kaya questions. Elkin recalls being told to poison the Holy Lord's medication. He realizes, "I should have told everyone." Kaya is surprised. "You." She stops Elkin and demands, "Hey, what are you doing?" Someone wonders what is going on while Elkin announces he will go look. He wonders about Kaya. As the attacker and Kaya clash, they move swiftly. Someone shouts, "Let's go." A man in red appears, shouting, "You guys, what are you doing to the Holy Lord?" The attacker shouts, telling Aneta not to move. Aneta cries out for help. She understands the knight's resentfulness but begs her to stop using innocent people. She speaks about the Lord and the maids. She says everyone has nothing to do with it. She asks if she's fooling her sister. The attacker says, "Okay, everyone was prepared to die." She recalls, "But that person is, that power is." The woman thinks they said Merrick surrendered. In the end, against the witch, one figure carries another. It's all over. Another wonders. Arrows fill the sky. Is the sun witch going to fall? Can she even exist? The attacker, in a fit of rage, thinks that power shouldn't intervene in wars. The attacker mocks Aneta as an innocent girl. She thinks that Kaya is the one who didn't pay the price. The suns. The attacker shouts, "My vision," as Kaya continues to cover her eyes. Blood drips from the attacker's head. Aneta, held hostage, cries out in pain and fear. The attacker falls backwards, dropping Aneta. The setting sun seems to empower the attacker's rage and trigger the illness. The attacker is wounded, bleeding profusely from her head. Aneta can only watch the chaos unfold. With a swift motion, the attacker plunges a sword straight through the guard's head. Blood splatters as the guard's eyes widen in shock and pain from the sudden and brutal attack. The sword pierces through another guard's chest, his face contorted in pain and shock. The guard falls lifelessly to the ground. He's caught off guard. The attacker violently slams the nobleman's head against the table. The sword falls to the ground. The attacker slashes at another guard. The guard falls to the ground, blood pouring. He's outnumbered and outmatched. With the guard dying, the assassin silently moves deeper into the castle. He's making sure nobody is left alive. Another guard collapses, clutching his throat, a pool of blood forming beneath him. The castle is falling silent. Suddenly, the assassin clutches his own throat. Blood seeps through his fingers as he stares in disbelief, his mission abruptly jeopardized by an unseen assailant. The tables have turned. The would-be assassin chokes, blood spurting as he lets out a strangled cry. The assassin falls to his knees. The blood covers his face as he gasps in shock from the injury. He falls, clutching his bleeding chest. The assassin's eyes widen as he stares in disbelief, his breath hitching. The attacker's body slumps to the ground, his mission a failure. He coughs, blood dripping from his mouth, and whispers, "Lord Hildegger." Tears stream down her face as she stares in shock. "Talk," she stutters, blood smeared across her cheek. Kaya rushes to Aneta's side, asking if she is hurt in the attack. As Aneta cradles Kaya in her arms, she thinks she knew this would happen. Aneta embraces Kaya, who is covered in blood and looks distressed. What will happen now that the assassin has attacked? A figure crashes into a table, sending debris flying as someone yells, "Kyaa." The mysterious woman clutches her hand, cursing her paralysis for ruining her aim. She mutters that the powder is useless against her target. The woman is tackled to the ground, screaming as the attacker lands on top of her. She's caught completely off guard. But before she can finish, the mysterious woman thrusts a knife at Kaya's throat. Kaya cries out as the blade pierces her skin. How will she escape this? The woman looks up, shocked and terrified as she's sprayed with blood. She yells as she stares at the massacre. With swift strikes, she shouts, "Don't get in my way," as she pushes past Aneta. She is determined to get to Kaya as quickly as possible. Kaya quickly retaliates, stabbing the woman in the chest. The woman falls. With a sickening sound, the woman falls. Flames emanate from her head as her body hits the floor. The woman's arm reaches out, grabbing the sword. Kaya cries out, fearing the worst as the woman stands menacingly. Heizi cries out as the poison takes effect. Kaya, covered in blood, struggles to stay awake, realizing the woman used poison. It's because of the poison, wake up. Blood is quickly absorbed as the woman pulls Kaya close. The woman's intentions are unknown. Footsteps approach the door. Kaya screams, "Sir Heizi." A voice booms from behind the closed door, "Are you all safe?" Kaya screams for Elkin, making sure he's okay. "Are you all safe?" she yells, her eyes glowing. The mysterious figure kicks the door open. Kaya is startled and coughs up blood. "Why did you come up here?" she yells. Kaya is coughing blood and injured. Griselda yells at Thurian to take Elkin down immediately. Back in the castle, Elkin realizes Heizi has been poisoned. He needs to save her. Elkin is told to prepare the Holy Lord's evening medication. Someone then asks, "But what about the ritual?" A voice replies, "Just hurry up." Before leaving, Kaya states that she'll return soon. She then hears Heizi screaming. "This struggle," she thinks as she heads back to the room. As the attacker kneels, she says, "You'll never." The Sun Knight ominously responds, "You will not be forgiven." The attacker lays dead on the floor, blood pooling around her. Kaya cries, her face stained with blood and dirt. The Sun Knight is overwhelmed with pain. He takes ragged breaths, feeling the effects of the poison. The Sun Knight's eyes glisten as he sits in the bath, tears streaming down his face. Is the poison taking over? With Heizi poisoned, Elkin lies unconscious in bed, exhausted. Kaya is by his side. The Sun Knight admits the situation is under control to a certain extent. Someone asks, "How is Aneta?" They respond, "She was very scared. I'll send her back with a companion." Heizi is in bed sick. She worries that her arm won't work like before. In another room, Kaya sits beside the Holy Lord and apologizes, unable to help. Someone thinks it's stupid to risk one's life for an immortal. Kaya, with a stern face, warns, "Don't do this again." Elkin responds weakly, "Yes." Someone says, "I'm sorry," while lying in bed, their eyes closed, and Equite says the servants will return. "They've been aiming for me." The Sun Knight is being scolded, told he shouldn't have let the cook go. He admits he was also too lazy. He knew something was suspicious. The Sun Knight thinks back to his haste in making a mistake. He accepts punishment if needed. Doubts still remain, however. A letter of appointment creates questions. His Majesty really loves the Master, he thinks, then whispers, "Mormodes." The figure realizes, "You're going to throw me away." It could be an easier way for him. Griselda asks, what was she talking about? At the door, someone asks for Griselda and Thurian. The Sun Knight reflects on Elkin and his mission. Griselda and Kaya wait patiently. Griselda reveals that Elkin has news for them. The Sun Knight stands silently, unaware of the poison's effects. Thurian observes him, a concerned expression on his face. Standing in the castle, the Sun Knight thinks, now this is all. His eyes reveal a growing unease. Someone demands the pharmacist explain Thurian's words. He asks if it's all true. "Yes," comes the quiet reply. Kaya recalls, last night the witch told me to put powder in the medication. The knight with white hair declares that it's all over. He demands that the pharmacist explain what's happening. He seems agitated and suspicious of Elkin. Elkin reveals that Hildegard had asked him to poison the Holy Lord. The memory of the white powder and Ulrich's words flashes through Elkin's mind. The white-haired knight asks if Elkin poisoned the Holy Lord. Elkin is in shock and exclaims he didn't put it in. Elkin explains that he and the witch checked it separately and found nothing. The white-haired knight is furious. The white-haired knight demands to know where the powder is. Hildegard admits that she threw it off a cliff. The knight warns Elkin to answer well. The white-haired knight asks if he is working with that witch. Elkin denies it all. The knight knows Elkin knew about it. The white-haired knight states the lord and castle were endangered, even his sister. He demands a reason not to doubt Elkin. The white-haired knight mentions Elkin's involvement with the witch. Elkin apologizes. Griselda realizes Elkin never expected this outcome. The knight's rage boils over. He says that's good he isn't answering, gripping his sword. The white-haired knight slams his fist into the ground, cracking the stone beneath. Sweat trickles down Elkin's face as he stares, fear evident in his eyes. The white-haired knight grabs Elkin. His face is filled with fury. He grits his teeth and says, "I trusted you." The white-haired knight says to Sir Griselda that the conversation is over. Elkin must leave the castle tomorrow. The knight shouts to Griselda, panicked. He has lost control of the situation and is desperate for help. A figure leaves. Elkin thinks to himself. The knight turns to Griselda, determination etched on his face. A flashback plays. A younger Elkin stands in front of the castle. "It was me, I noticed their suspicion." Back in the present, Griselda hears the knight's distressed shout for her. The knight releases Elkin and turns to Griselda. She shouts, trying to make him see reason. The knight explains that Elkin was deceived for the ritual. The attacker says even if the powder was administered, it won't kill the target. The attacker says Kaya was lucky. What if Elkin finds out? A voice wonders what to do if the king sees them as enemies. The knight states that it's like walking a tightrope every day. Kaya says that she doesn't want to take any more risks. Kaya wants to know about the medication. Griselda says she will find out again somehow. The knight declares he needs the pharmacist. The knight exclaims his sister almost died because of Elkin's deception. Griselda is upset and says he's the one who said to deal with it. The knight asks if Griselda knows why Elkin can't answer him. Someone falls to the ground. The knight is shocked, exclaiming Lord Hildegard. The knight screams in shock, seeing Lord Hildegard collapsed on the floor.